We live in a world obsessed with results. From the moment we wake up, we're told to hit targets, measure success, and outperform yesterday. And while results matter, there's a hidden trap in chasing them relentlessly. Results are the visible outcome of countless unseen choices, small actions, and consistent effort. Yet, many people spend their energy fixating on the scoreboard, thinking success will magically appear if they desire it enough. The truth is, it doesn't work that way. When we focus solely on outcomes, we often become paralyzed by fear, the fear of failing, the fear of judgment, the fear of not measuring up. This fear can stop us from even taking the first step. We compare ourselves to others, set unrealistic expectations, and exhaust ourselves chasing milestones that may be influenced by factors beyond our control. Effort, on the other hand, is something entirely within our power. It's something we can control, refine, and build on every single day. Focusing on effort means embracing a mindset where progress matters more than perfection. It's about asking, did I give my best today? Instead of, did I win today? This shift transforms our relationship with challenges. Obstacles become opportunities to learn. Failures become feedback, not final judgments. And slowly, but inevitably, consistent effort compounds into results far greater than we could have achieved by chasing outcomes alone. Effort also builds resilience. When results are inconsistent, as they inevitably will be, those who focus on effort remain motivated. They understand that setbacks aren't the end of the story, they're part of the process. They keep showing up, improving, and refining their approach because they recognize that mastery is earned through persistent action, not instant gratification. Moreover, focusing on effort nurtures intrinsic motivation. When we base our actions on effort rather than results, we cultivate self-respect, pride, and satisfaction. We start celebrating the small wins, the extra hour of practice, the thoughtful conversation, the decision to keep moving forward when it's easier to quit. These are the moments that build character and fuel long-term growth far more reliably than any external reward could. So how do we make this shift? Begin by identifying the actions that truly contribute to your growth. Measure effort, not outcomes. Track your habits, your consistency, and the intentionality behind your actions. Reflect daily, where did I push myself today? Where did I take meaningful steps forward? Over time, this focus on effort becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The effort creates momentum, and momentum produces results as a natural byproduct. Remember, results are important, but they are not the compass. Effort is the compass. When we invest in effort, the results follow, not because we chase them, but because we've prepared, refined, and positioned ourselves to achieve them. Mastery, satisfaction, and sustainable success are born in the process, not the outcome. And that is a lesson worth living every single day. 5 keynotes of the speech. Chasing results alone creates fear, comparison, and inconsistency, whereas focusing on effort gives control and stability. Effort is measurable and within our control. Results are often influenced by external factors. Consistent effort builds resilience, allowing us to navigate setbacks and challenges effectively. Focusing on effort nurtures intrinsic motivation, self-respect, and satisfaction. Results are the byproduct of effort. When we prioritize effort, success follows naturally and sustainably. Chasing results alone can feel like running on a treadmill that never ends. Every time we look at the scoreboard, whether it's a promotion, a financial milestone, or recognition from others, it seems just out of reach. The problem is that results are not fully within our control. They are influenced by timing, circumstances, other people, and often sheer luck. When we fixate on outcomes, we tether our sense of worth and progress to factors we cannot reliably influence. This creates a pressure that is both heavy and destabilizing. We start measuring ourselves against external standards rather than our own growth. And that comparison often leads to fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of coming up short. Fear is a powerful motivator, but it's also a paralyzing force. It can make us hesitate, overthink, or abandon efforts before they even begin. In essence, chasing results can trap us in a cycle of anxiety, self-doubt, and dissatisfaction, even when we are working hard. Focusing on effort, however, changes the game entirely. Effort is something tangible. It's the energy we put into learning, practicing, improving, and showing up consistently. Unlike results, effort is fully within our control. We can choose to dedicate an extra hour to practice, to refine a skill, or to push ourselves just a little further than we did yesterday. By anchoring our attention to effort rather than outcomes, we create a sense of agency. We stop being hostage to circumstances and start being architects of our own growth. This shift doesn't mean we ignore results. It means we understand that results are a natural consequence of the effort we consistently apply, not the starting point of our journey. When effort becomes the primary focus, the fear that often accompanies outcome-driven thinking begins to diminish. Instead of being anxious about what we may or may not achieve, we start asking different questions. Did I give my best today? Did I take steps that align with my goals? Did I challenge myself in meaningful ways? These questions redirect attention from what is uncertain to what is controllable. They allow us to celebrate progress, even if the visible outcome hasn't yet materialized. A person who tracks effort rather than results experiences small wins every day, an extra hour of study, a well-prepared presentation, a conversation that deepened understanding. These moments of effort are measurable, repeatable, and empowering. Another dimension of focusing on effort is that it encourages consistency. When our self-worth is tied to outcomes, it's easy to get discouraged if results are slow or setbacks occur. One failure can feel like a judgment on our ability or potential. But when we prioritize effort, every action counts. Even setbacks are reframed as opportunities to refine our approach. Missing a target becomes data, not condemnation. Each effort compounds over time, and the results we desire emerge as a natural consequence of repeated, focused action. By valuing effort over results, we build a system that prioritizes long-term growth instead of short-term gratification. Moreover, focusing on effort strengthens internal motivation. Results are external, they require validation from outside ourselves. Effort, on the other hand, cultivates self-respect and personal pride. When we know we have given our best, we experience a sense of accomplishment that is independent of recognition, reward, or comparison. This intrinsic satisfaction fuels further effort, creating a positive feedback loop where persistence and commitment are reinforced naturally. It's a far more sustainable model than chasing outcomes that may be fleeting, unpredictable, or dependent on factors outside our control. Finally, effort-focused thinking shifts our mindset from reactive to proactive. Chasing results can make us reactive. We constantly adjust based on failures, setbacks, or perceived gaps in achievement. Focusing on effort allows us to become proactive architects of our growth, deliberately choosing actions that move us closer to mastery. This perspective creates clarity and purpose. We are no longer measuring ourselves against everyone else, but against the best version of ourselves, defined by consistent effort, resilience, and intentional action. In short, when we focus on effort instead of results, we gain control over our journey, reduce fear, build consistency, cultivate intrinsic motivation, and adopt a proactive approach to growth. Results then become the natural outcome of discipline, persistent effort. In this way, focusing on effort is not only more empowering, it is far more effective. Effort is measurable and controllable in ways that results rarely are. When we focus on outcomes alone, we tie our sense of progress to things that can change without warning. Markets fluctuate, opportunities shift, and people's reactions are unpredictable. No matter how much talent or preparation we have, results can be delayed, diminished, or even entirely out of reach due to circumstances beyond our influence. This unpredictability makes outcome-driven thinking inherently unstable. It's like building a house on sand. No matter how carefully you construct it, the foundation remains insecure. Effort, in contrast, is solid ground. It is something we can invest in daily, and its impact compounds over time. When we concentrate on actions that are within our control, we are no longer vulnerable to the volatility of results. We can shape our journey, refine our approach, and develop skills that ultimately determine the outcomes we seek. Effort also gives us a clear sense of direction. Results are often delayed, and when we rely on them for validation, it's easy to become impatient or disheartened. We may feel we are failing even while making meaningful progress, simply because the outcome hasn't materialized yet. Effort provides immediate feedback. When we focus on effort, we can track consistency, intensity, and quality in real time. We can ask ourselves if we showed up today, if we acted intentionally, and if we took deliberate steps toward improvement. This creates a reliable barometer of growth, allowing us to make adjustments continuously rather than waiting for external confirmation. Measuring effort keeps us grounded and aligned with our long-term goals. Another powerful aspect of focusing on effort is that it encourages learning and adaptability. When we prioritize results, there is a temptation to stick with strategies that may not be effective simply because they are supposed to produce the desired outcome. We chase a fixed target without examining whether the path we are on is optimal. Effort-focused thinking shifts the emphasis from rigid results to experimentation and skill development. Each effort becomes a data point, an opportunity to observe, adjust, and refine. We learn what works, what doesn't, and how to improve continuously. This mindset transforms the journey into a process of mastery rather than a blind pursuit of numbers or accolades. Effort is also inherently fair. While outcomes can be influenced by luck, timing, or circumstances beyond our control, effort is something we can always choose to apply. It levels the playing field, providing a consistent way to advance regardless of external conditions. Two people may face very different environments or opportunities, but both can choose how much effort to invest in their work, their relationships, or their personal growth. By focusing on effort, we take responsibility for what we can influence, and we stop blaming outcomes or external factors for a perceived lack of success. This sense of agency is empowering and reinforces a growth-oriented mindset. Moreover, valuing effort over results builds resilience. When we chase outcomes and fall short, it can feel like a personal failure, leading to discouragement and burnout. However, when our focus is on effort, setbacks are reframed as part of the learning process. Each effort, even if it does not produce the immediate result we desire, is a building block toward eventual success. We begin to see obstacles as opportunities to practice perseverance. To improve strategies and to strengthen our skills, this shift in perspective reduces anxiety and allows us to persist even in the face of temporary failure or slow progress. Finally, focusing on effort creates a foundation for sustainable achievement. Results can be fleeting. They might be celebrated one day and forgotten the next. Effort, however, develops habits, skills, and resilience that endure. The consistent application of effort over time shapes our abilities, our character, and our approach to challenges. These are the elements that produce not just short-term wins, but long-term growth and fulfillment. By committing to effort as the core metric of progress, we create a system where results are an inevitable byproduct, not a fragile objective to be anxiously pursued. In essence, effort is both measurable and controllable. It provides clarity, fairness, and resilience. It allows us to track progress in real time, to learn from each action, and to take consistent steps toward mastery. Unlike results, which are often unpredictable, effort is something we can choose every day. It is a lever we can pull, a skill we can refine, and a foundation we can build upon. When we measure our success by effort rather than outcomes, we gain control, stability, and momentum, and the results we desire become not just possible, but inevitable. Consistent effort builds resilience in ways that chasing results alone rarely can. When our focus is solely on outcomes, every setback feels like a personal failure. One missed target, one rejection, or one unexpected obstacle can shake our confidence and make us question our ability to succeed. Results are often influenced by factors beyond our control. Other people's decisions, market fluctuations, or timing. And when we tie our sense of progress to these unpredictable elements, we leave ourselves vulnerable to frustration and disappointment. By contrast, focusing on consistent effort allows us to maintain forward momentum regardless of immediate outcomes. It creates a stable foundation where persistence becomes the driver of growth rather than luck or circumstance. Each deliberate action taken, each choice to keep moving forward despite difficulty strengthens our capacity to handle challenges, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth rather than threats to our identity or self-worth. Resilience is not built in moments of ease. It is forged in the face of difficulty. When we prioritize effort, we practice perseverance daily, showing up, pushing through discomfort, and continuing to refine our approach, even when results are slow or absent, teaches us that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are feedback. They are signals guiding us to adjust strategies, learn new skills, and improve our execution. Over time, this consistent effort cultivates a mindset that views challenges as temporary and surmountable rather than permanent and defining. We learn to navigate adversity with calmness and clarity because our confidence is anchored in what we control, our actions and our persistence. Furthermore, consistent effort builds confidence that is independent of external validation. When we chase results, our sense of self-worth can fluctuate dramatically based on wins and losses. A successful outcome brings a temporary high, while failure can bring discouragement or self-doubt. But when we focus on effort, our confidence comes from knowing we have given our best regardless of the outcome. This internal validation is far more sustainable. It creates a stable base from which we can approach new challenges with courage and determination because we trust our capacity to act consistently, to learn, and to improve. We are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or fleeting achievements. Our resilience comes from the reliability of our effort. Another crucial aspect of effort-driven resilience is the ability to embrace long-term thinking. Results can be slow to manifest, and they often require sustained commitment over months or even years. By valuing effort above immediate outcomes, we train ourselves to stay engaged in the process, to maintain consistency, and to remain motivated even when progress appears invisible. Each small action contributes to a larger trajectory of growth, and the accumulation of these actions builds strength, skill, and endurance that cannot be gained through short bursts of success alone. In this way, consistent effort is a form of resilience that compounds, creating a foundation for sustained achievement rather than fleeting wins. Consistent effort also encourages adaptability. When we focus on outcomes, we may become rigid, sticking to a single approach in the hope of achieving a specific result. But effort-focused thinking allows us to view every attempt as part of a learning process. Setbacks are not failures, they are opportunities to experiment, to adjust, and to improve. This adaptability, cultivated through steady effort, enhances our ability to recover from unexpected challenges, navigate uncertainty, and continue moving forward with purpose and clarity. Resilience is strengthened not only by enduring difficulty, but by learning how to respond intelligently and creatively when faced with it. Finally, focusing on effort fosters a mindset where failure is no longer feared, but understood as temporary and instructive. Each effort, even if it does not produce the desired result immediately, contributes to our growth, expands our experience, and prepares us for future success. Resilience, in this sense, is not about avoiding failure. It is about building the capacity to continue acting, learning, and improving in spite of it. By committing to consistent effort, we develop a durable inner strength that sustains us through challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, ensuring that progress continues even when results are slow to appear. In essence, consistent effort is the engine of resilience. It provides stability in a world of unpredictable outcomes, builds confidence grounded in action rather than validation, fosters long-term engagement, enhances adaptability, and transforms setbacks into stepping stones. By focusing on effort rather than immediate results, we cultivate the ability to endure, recover, and thrive, ensuring that we remain capable of achieving meaningful success no matter the obstacles we face. Focusing on effort nurtures intrinsic motivation, which is far more powerful and sustainable than chasing external rewards. When we are driven solely by outcomes, bonuses, recognition, accolades, or social approval, our energy depends on circumstances that we cannot fully control. This type of motivation is fragile. It fluctuates with the success or failure of results and can disappear when external validation is delayed or withheld. Effort, however, cultivates a form of motivation that comes from within. It is grounded in the satisfaction of knowing we have given our best, taken deliberate action, and remained committed to our goals. Intrinsic motivation is self-reinforcing. It grows stronger with each effort applied and does not waver based on the unpredictability of external factors. By focusing on effort, we tap into a deep, self-sustaining source of drive that fuels consistent action and long-term growth. When we prioritize effort, we begin to celebrate small wins that are often overlooked when results dominate our attention. Completing a challenging task, practicing deliberately, learning a new skill, or improving a process may not immediately yield measurable outcomes, but these efforts accumulate into meaningful progress over time. Each step forward, no matter how small, reinforces the habit of action and builds confidence. We start valuing the process itself, the deliberate work, the attention to detail, and the consistent application of energy, rather than simply the end goal. This mindset shifts our focus from "did I achieve it?" to "did I apply myself fully?" And this shift is transformative because it creates a sense of purpose and satisfaction in the very act of striving. Intrinsic motivation also strengthens resilience in the face of obstacles. When effort is the primary measure of progress, setbacks are reframed as opportunities to learn rather than as failures. Missing a target or encountering unexpected challenges does not diminish our motivation because our drive is rooted in the consistency of our actions, not in immediate outcomes. Each effort becomes a building block, a chance to refine skills, adjust strategies, and deepen understanding. This approach reduces the fear of failure and fosters a mindset where persistence is the natural response to difficulty. Over time, the accumulation of these deliberate actions creates mastery, self-reliance, and a sustainable path toward achievement. Another crucial aspect of effort-driven motivation is that it promotes autonomy and personal ownership. When we rely on external rewards to fuel our energy, we are at the mercy of external conditions, which can lead to frustration, dependence, or complacency. By focusing on effort, we take responsibility for our actions and outcomes. We choose to act consistently, improve deliberately, and invest energy in ways that align with our values and goals. This sense of ownership fosters a profound feeling of empowerment because it reminds us that progress is in our hands and that we are capable of shaping our journey through deliberate action. Autonomy reinforces motivation, creating a virtuous cycle where effort generates confidence, and confidence fuels further effort. Focusing on effort also encourages long-term thinking. External rewards can create a fixation on immediate gratification, which may lead to shortcuts, reactive decisions, or unsustainable behaviors. Intrinsic motivation rooted in effort allows us to embrace a process-oriented approach. We understand that skill development, mastery, and meaningful progress are the result of cumulative actions over time. Each effort repeated consistently compounds into significant results. By valuing the work itself rather than only what it produces in the short term, we align our energy with sustainable growth and long-lasting achievement. Moreover, effort-centered motivation nurtures resilience in relationships and collaboration. When we act with intentional effort, whether in mentoring others, contributing to a team, or supporting peers, we cultivate trust, respect, and influence. These efforts are recognized not only in outcomes, but also in the consistency and integrity of our actions. People respond to effort, dedication, and authenticity, creating opportunities that are less dependent on luck or immediate results. Intrinsic motivation amplifies the impact of our actions, making them meaningful beyond measurable achievements. Ultimately, focusing on effort transforms the way we experience growth and success. It shifts attention from fleeting, unpredictable results to the deliberate, controllable actions that shape our capabilities and character. By nurturing intrinsic motivation, we cultivate self-respect, resilience, autonomy, and long-term growth. Every effort we invest strengthens our foundation, preparing us to achieve meaningful outcomes naturally as a reflection of the work we have consistently applied and the person we are becoming through the process. Results are the byproduct of effort. When we prioritize effort, success follows naturally and sustainably. This principle is often overlooked because society glorifies outcomes, winning, promotions, accolades, or financial gains, while underestimating the consistent work behind them. People see the visible achievement and assume it came quickly or easily. But the reality is that results are rarely instantaneous. They are the cumulative outcome of repeated, intentional actions over time. When we fixate on the end goal, we risk impatience, frustration, and burnout. We chase results without understanding that they are a reflection of the process, not an isolated target. Prioritizing effort allows us to build the habits, discipline, and skill set that makes sustainable success inevitable rather than leaving it to chance. Effort creates the foundation for predictable growth. Every choice we make, every action we take, compounds into a larger trajectory over time. By focusing on effort, we ensure that each step contributes meaningfully to our progress. Even when immediate results are not visible, consistent effort is quietly shaping our skills, resilience, and capacity. This is why those who emphasize effort experience steady advancement. They understand that outcomes are emergent properties of disciplined work. The more intentional and consistent our effort, the higher the likelihood that results will follow. By directing our energy toward what we can control, our actions, habits, and mindset, we influence the trajectory of outcomes indirectly but powerfully. Focusing on effort also reduces the stress and anxiety associated with chasing results. When outcomes dominate our attention, we become reactive, constantly comparing ourselves to others or measuring success by external validation. This external focus is destabilizing because results are often delayed or influenced by variables beyond our control. In contrast, when effort becomes the metric of success, we gain a sense of agency. We can measure our contribution to our goals every day and adjust our approach if necessary. This internal focus provides clarity, stability, and motivation because it reminds us that progress is built incrementally through deliberate action rather than luck or fleeting opportunity. Another crucial aspect of prioritizing effort is the development of mastery. Mastery does not come from a single achievement. It comes from the process of continual learning, repetition, and refinement. Every time we invest effort, we improve a skill, expand our understanding, or strengthen our discipline. Over time, these incremental gains accumulate into a level of competence and confidence that naturally produces results. Effort is the engine that drives this growth. Without it, even talent, intelligence, or opportunity cannot consistently produce meaningful outcomes. Results, then, are a reflection of skill cultivated through persistent action rather than an isolated event. Effort also shapes character, which in turn shapes results. Individuals who focus on consistent effort develop qualities such as perseverance, resilience, adaptability, and discipline. These traits directly influence the outcomes they achieve because success is rarely a matter of luck. It is the product of preparation meeting opportunity. When effort is prioritized, we invest in the development of these traits continuously. Every deliberate action reinforces habits, strengthens mindset, and enhances capability. As a result, when challenges arise, we are equipped to navigate them effectively, which naturally leads to better outcomes over time. Moreover, focusing on effort creates a sustainable path to success. Focused thinking often encourages shortcuts, quick fixes, or reactive decisions in pursuit of immediate rewards. These approaches may deliver temporary results, but rarely lead to lasting growth. In contrast, effort-centered thinking emphasizes process, consistency, and refinement. It prioritizes doing the work correctly, improving incrementally, and maintaining commitment regardless of immediate results. This mindset produces results that are not only achieved, but also maintainable because they are built on skill, discipline, and sustainable habits rather than transient circumstances. Finally, when we focus on effort, results become a natural consequence rather than a source of pressure or fear. By consistently showing up, applying ourselves, and refining our approach, we create the conditions for success. Results emerge organically from the process, and when they do, they reflect the cumulative impact of intentional effort rather than chance or external validation. This approach ensures that success is replicable and reliable, rooted in actions that can be controlled, repeated, and scaled over time. In essence, results are not the starting point, they are the outcome of effort. Prioritizing effort over outcomes gives us control, builds skill, nurtures character, and produces sustainable achievement. Success follows naturally when effort is consistent, deliberate, and focused, and the satisfaction we gain comes from knowing we have acted with intentionality, persistence, and integrity. By making effort the center of our focus, we align ourselves with the true driver of meaningful results and long-term growth. In the pursuit of success, it is tempting to fixate on results, to measure our worth by the milestones we achieve or the recognition we receive. Yet, as we have explored, results alone are fleeting, unpredictable, and often beyond our control. The true path to meaningful, sustainable success lies in focusing on effort, the deliberate, consistent actions we take each day. Effort gives us control where outcomes do not, reduces fear and anxiety, and fosters a mindset of resilience that allows us to navigate setbacks with confidence. By measuring progress through effort rather than results, we cultivate intrinsic motivation, self-respect, and a sustainable drive that carries us forward even when visible achievements are slow to appear. Every step we take with intention strengthens our skills, builds character, and compounds into results over time. Effort is measurable, controllable, and within our power. It is the engine that turns persistence into progress and challenges into opportunities. Resilience grows, motivation deepens, and mastery emerges from the steady application of effort, creating a foundation on which true achievement is built. When we shift our focus from chasing outcomes to investing in effort, results naturally follow as a byproduct of disciplined, consistent action. This approach transforms the way we experience growth and success, ensuring that we not only reach our goals, but do so with purpose, confidence, and integrity. Ultimately, the choice is ours. We can remain trapped by the anxiety of chasing results, vulnerable to factors we cannot control, or we can embrace effort as the compass of our journey. By committing to effort, we reclaim our agency, cultivate resilience, and create a life where success is not an uncertain destination, but a natural consequence of the person we become and the actions we take every single day. Focusing on effort is not just a strategy. It is a way of thinking, a philosophy of growth, and the key to achieving meaningful, lasting success.